Alright, so got your letter. Appreciate it. Tell you guys a little bit about my accident. We were driving home from a barbecue, and what happened? Oh yeah, we were driving home from a barbecue, and we were turning left at the light, and saw this big white truck coming, and I told my friend we were gonna get hit, and then woke up a little bit later, and a paramedic was saying that, asking me my name and if I knew where I was, and I didn't know where we were or anything, and so he said, we're cutting you out of the car, we'll have you out in a little bit. And then there's like blood all over my hands, and I felt it dripping down my face and stuff. And then I woke up again, and I was in the ambulance driving to the ICU, and then I couldn't open my eyes or anything because there's a bunch of glass in them. And then I heard my parents and whatnot, and they were talking about transferring me to the hospital. And so they transferred me to the hospital, and I passed out again and woke up again. I was in my bed, my hospital bed, and they said I'd broken and fractured 7 of my ribs, and my right lung had been punctured or collapsed and whatnot, so they were gonna give me a day or so to recover and then tell me how that went. And then the next day they came in, and they said they wanted me to try these breathing tests out and whatnot, and then so we tried to do those, and I guess my lung wasn't recovering as well as they hoped it would, so they came in a little bit later. Came back in a little bit later and said, we're gonna do some surgery on you, and then they went a little bit over the surgery, and they're like, so if you want to have your family clear out, we'll do it right now. So I was like, okay, yeah, go for it. And so they gave me numbing shots in my lung to numb it a little bit, and they kept asking me if I felt it, and I said yes. They gave me more numbing shots. And they asked me if I felt it again, and I said yes. They gave me another one. And then they asked me if I felt that, and I said yeah. So then they went into my IV, and they gave me this Vertisol or something like that. And then they asked me if I still felt it, and I said yeah, and they gave me another one. Then they asked me if I felt it again, and I said kinda, and so they gave me one more. And then they poked through my lung, or they went through my rib cage with an air tube to suck out the blood and stuff and refill my lung. And then once they poked through my lung, I passed out, and then I woke up afterwards, and they were all done. And I guess they sewed through and stitched up my side, and I had a tube going out to a pump. And then they did that for a little bit, for about a day and a half or so, and then they said I was healing pretty well, so they took me off the pump and just left the tube in so that I could finish draining out. And then they took some x-rays to see how it was doing, and they said it was covering pretty well. So then they said they could take the tube out. So a guy came in, and he said, he's like, I want you to do these exercises, breathe in, then let out all your air, and then leave it out for a bit, and then once you let out all your air, I'm gonna pull the tube out. And so he's like, okay, breathe in, and then he's like, breathe out, and then he said, breathe in, breathe out, and then he's like, leave your air out, and then he just yanked the tube out of my side, and it felt pretty weird. It was a pretty thick tube. It was like that big, pretty long. It was like that far inside of me. And so they did that, and he's like, all right, and then they patched it all up and whatnot. There's still a hole in there, but he said to go back in a couple days, and they'll patch the hole up more. And then I rested for another day or so in there, and then they said I'd probably be good enough to go home for recovery. I just have to come back for follow-up checkups and whatnot every once in a while. So I'm gonna go back in tomorrow. They're gonna do some more x-rays to see if my lung is still doing okay. And then they said they can't do anything for the ribs because those are just gonna have to kind of heal on their own. And then, so yeah, tomorrow I'll go back in and get my stitches taken out of my face and whatnot, because I got a bunch of cuts and whatnot all around my face, and I got a glass still in my lip and in my chin and whatnot. So we're gonna try and get some of those out tonight. And then as for your letter, really appreciate your letter. I have your email address now and your cell phone number, so I'll add you on my email address and maybe my Facebook, so I can send you some of the pictures that I had from the hospital. And yeah, you're still my favorite auntie, by the way. I do consider you my older sister too, and I like all the time that we've spent together so far. And yeah, the next time we get together, we'll have to chat a little bit more and catch up. But yeah, I do appreciate the letter and all you guys' prayers and good sentiments and thoughts you guys have shared for me. So yeah, I'm gonna add your email, and I'll get in touch with you with the bigger letter and whatnot and see how you guys are doing.